Apparently I'm live. Apparently I'm live. Hello, hello. Apparently I'm live on the internet. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is my first ever live on YouTube. However, it's not my first ever live in general because actually I just literally do about, I don't know, maybe 100 lives a year on Facebook. But I decided that I would like to do something for the first time on my YouTube channel because I love you guys as much as Facebook. Uh, Yo, what's up, Budley from Coconut? Dude, all will be explained. I have some big news, my friends, because I have a new Polish language channel. All of my films that used to be on this channel will now be on the other channel. So if you speak Polish, not only can you not understand what I'm saying now, but also you need to go to the other channel to get the Polish thing. So it's like a big change for me because now I have clarity. I have one Polish channel, one English channel. This channel, the one you're on right now, is the English language channel. So if you don't speak English and you want to watch my films, or you want to watch any of the old films or the new films that are coming, you need to go to the new channel. Where is the new channel? Well, I got some good news, my friends. The link is in the description, and I'm just about to blast that beast up on YouTube. In the comments, you're going to be able to find the channel there. If you don't speak Polish, then I wouldn't recommend doing this. But tell you what, I've got a little idea. You could always have a little bit of a Q&A because I don't do lives on my YouTube channel. This is the first ever time. And I say, why not? Why don't we do it? Some of you, like Peter, can speak in two languages, but not everybody can. And basically, having two languages on one channel was a bit of a stupid idea. Shout out to my man Victor, nice one. So therefore, I decided that I would create a new channel only in Polish. That channel's over there. I'm going to do lots more Polish content, but this channel is only for English. So Shy Prince Music says, "How are you?" And I'm pleased to let you know that I am fucking awesome. I'm in a really good mood because I've got this new channel. It's nice and clear. I had an awesome live on Facebook for about an hour. And now we're going to do a Q&A. I've told you the news. Stay with me if you want to have a nice chat with me, if you want to get to know me better, because I want to get to know you better. Patricio, what is the most difficult thing in learning Polish? Patricio, I'm going to, let me think about this question. Because I could answer this in many different ways. I think one of the biggest challenges is the sense of perspective. So, for example, when you start learning a language, the scale of the mountain that you have to climb is so high that it feels like it's not worth it because you don't see that actually behind you is a series of steps that you're taking. And the real challenge that you have every single day is just to take the next step. It's not to look at the height of the mountain. So when I hear people say, "Oh, I can't learn Polish," like, shut up. Because the objective is not to learn Polish, it's just to learn the next word, the next sentence, the next grammar case. Yeah. And if you just treat it as just life as just a series of very small challenges, incrementally you make that big progress. But of course, we're all human. And for some of us, that can be hard. It was for me. One of the ways that I like to do this is to record myself. Part of the reason why I set my channel up, why I did my vlogs, originally this vlog, Hadiswa Wędrowniczek was how I used to call it, was a blog that I did in Polish just to push myself to write in Polish more. So it can be done. And I think one of the key things is perspective. You see how far you have to go, but you don't see how far you've come. But if you record films, and if I go back and look at some of what I wrote on my Facebook posts from when I first came to Poland and I was trying to speak in Polish, it was embarrassing. But it's also funny. But it also makes me realize that, wow, you've got a long way to go, but you also have come a long way too. What respect to what you do, this world needs more people like you. Crazy people, Peter. Meow. I'm in a good mood today. Sorry, I'm going to be a bit silly. I do apologize. What is the most difficult word to say in Polish for you? Actually, this is another interesting question. I've never really talked about this before, Shay, because the hardest thing I have in terms of pronunciation, other than the fact I have an accent, English accent, is English words that look similar or sound similar in Polish, because your tongue and your brain is hardwired to say them in a certain way, and they're more or less similar. But then you have to change the endings, say them in a different accent, and surprisingly, I find that quite difficult. Patrick, did you have any problems with procrastination? Okay, I wasn't expecting to have a question about my how I deal with tasks. So for the last 2 years, I don't think I've talked about this very much on this channel, guys. I've been raising a family. I've been running a business or working in businesses where I've been like a senior person, And between the hours of 3 a.m. and 6 a.m., I've been getting up to do this, to do my channel. And by the way, I want to apologize to everybody on YouTube now. I apologize to you guys because I haven't treated you as importantly as I have on Facebook. And this is why I'm doing this live. Victor wants me to say a swear word, but I'm just going to ignore him for a second and not even look at it. So how do I deal with tasks? Well, obviously, if you've got only a few hours and it's between 3 and 6 in the morning, you want to make sure that you've got your task management and your achieving kind of skills up as high as you possibly can. The main way that I do this, Mr. Disty 1002, is I have my tasks which I set out every day, and I try and do them at the end of every day. I try to make sure that I've got the tasks for the next day. And this is a free app called, what's it called, guys? I've forgotten. Evernote. Yes. You can do this on your notes if you've got an iPhone. It's super, super awesome. And I think, tick off the list, you get the thing. Search, what are your priorities? What do you want to achieve this year? What do you need to do in the next few months to get there? But I'm a massive fan. Actually, it brings me back to my last statement. Yeah. Don't look at how far you have to go. Just think about the next thing you have to do. All about incremental changes. As they say, eat the elephant one bite at a time. Okay, let's go to the next question. Can you say something in Polish that is bad? Niet. I will not say that. You are right. We are all able to learn any language in 3 months. Why? You only need 2,000 words to be fluent. This is so true. So Peter's touching on something which I think is really important, which is most of language is actually really just a series of pre-formed sentences, which comes from words fitting in the right order, in the right context. And if you know those order and context, you can get around and holy heck of a lot of the time, just literally with those few words. Dominic, what made you grow a moustache? Well, Dominic, let me tell you that I actually shaved this moustache because I went on a play date with my daughter with another filmmaker, and he also has a moustache. And I thought it would look a bit funny if two guys went for a play date with moustaches and daughters. However, I also have this for my new film because I have the next film. See, if you guys follow me on Facebook, you will know about this. Do you follow me on Facebook? There's a question for your comments right now. For my next film, I'm going to do a film about the brain, the human brain. Yeah, and I play a character called Dr. Ernest Greensleeves, and Dr. Greensleeve is going to show people about why the brain is so amazing. Disty says, why, when I ask about motivation, I hear create a plan full of tasks and I'm still lazy as fuck. All right, sorry, I just saw that. I didn't swear. Disty, you do what you care about. So if you feel guilty about achieving something that or not doing something that you think is important to you, then it's probably not very aligned with where you actually want to be in your real life. So if you are still fighting something, Gandhi said, actions express priorities. What you do is who you are. So if you want to be that person, Disty, that's absolutely fine. But if you feel guilty, if people are putting pressure on you to achieve something else, and it's not aligned with who you see yourself to be, the priorities that you actually have, as expressed by the values that you actually express, as expressed by the things you do, then probably it's not the right thing for you to be doing anyway. It wasn't hard for me to do my to-do list today because I love what I do and I really, really want to do it. So did I motivate you there? I hope I did. Right, let's have a look. What kind of watch do you wear right now? It's very nice. It's a Swatch watch, and it's actually pretty terrible because I bought it for like 200 zloty, and then the strap fell off, which is like 100 zloty, and then the little plastic holder thing fell off, which is another 50 zloty, and then to clean the little beastie, it costs about 25 zloty as well. So it's annoying. Will there be more videos about Nazi crimes in Poland? Don, I am planning to do a new series about Polish heroes and about the Second World War in Poland. I'm thinking about creating a new channel for it. By the way, if you only speak Polish and you don't speak English, you can subscribe to my new channel. It's in the description and in the comments, which is only in Polish. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look. I've answered the question about the moustache, about learning, my watch. Where do you work, says Shay. So Shay, from September last year, I only do this. I only make films. Yes, it's true. You can live from making films on the internet. So I'm a journalist for the Polish press agency. I do a weekly show called The Heart of Poland for a channel called The First News. I highly recommend it, guys. It's basically interesting interviews with interesting people doing amazing things, or amazing people doing interesting things. I speak to authors, writers, poets, songwriters, translators, historians, sports stars. you name it, we talk to them, and it's like an in-depth chat, one-on-one chat in this super awesome hall. It's called Heart of Poland. I'm going to write that in. I'm going to write that in the channel. That's my kind of main job, I guess you could say. But I also do a amazing program for a Polish channel, but the program's in English, called Hi Polska, where I talk to people in business as well about doing business. Disty, yes, Evernote. Right, let's have a look at these questions, baby. I'm loving the questions. I'm full of dreams. It's like I'm addicted to them. Dreaming is awesome, man. That's not a problem. Sounds like a good thing. Right, let's have a little look. Are there any supplements that you would still make about the video about Maximilian Kolbe? So, Don, if you're talking about supplementary things, I don't want to go back to that story because I did it. It was a challenging time for me personally. I was going through a lot of difficulties with trying to manage my work, my family, my filmmaking. It was extremely expensive film to make. It cost me over 5,000 zloty, so it was over £1,000, which for my budgets of films is the biggest film I've ever made. It did okay on Facebook. It got about 250,000 views or 300,000 views. But the film I did about Witold Pilecki, which I haven't released on my YouTube channel, I'm looking kind of stupid now, aren't I? Because I've not been treating YouTube very seriously, but I promise I will. Got about 9.5 million views. So 300,000 versus 9.5. That pushes me to do more. I want to make films about amazing heroes like Vitalis Skorupka, who was a member of the KDW, the special security forces, and like the elite of the Polish Home Army. I want to make films about Jan Karski as well, the messenger, the person who literally went up to the American senators and the American president and told them about the Holocaust and was ignored, or rather, even worse, not understood. Those are films basically that I want to do. Disty, what do you think about starting your own merch store? I did have that for a little while. Sales were pretty rubbish. I kind of fell out of love with the idea. But maybe, who knows, might come back to this. Shay instead of Shay. Okie dokie. Let's hear some other questions, guys. I'm going to stay on here for as long as you want me to. I want to let you know, obviously, about my Polish news channel. This is the most important thing. If you've got any questions about the filmmaking that I've done, I am super happy for you guys to be with me. This is the first time we've ever done a live. Give me a thumbs up if you're liking it. Give me a little emoticon. I'm so used to Facebook that I don't even know what you can do here. You can give me emojis. There's emojis up here. You can give me thumbs and whatnots. Okay, I'm going to appreciate it. And I really, really want you to help me by coming back, checking this channel, making sure you subscribe to it to get the notifications, just basically being a part of this channel's success, because otherwise, without you, it's literally a waste of time. Okay, and that's absolutely the most important thing. Right, got 2 questions. What keeps you energized? Shy Prince, I've recently been on a diet. I've lost about 6 kilos, so it's almost a stone, which is 14 pounds. As a result of that, I have a lot more energy. I'm pretty happy about that. But most importantly is obviously spending time with my kids. And my passion is obviously Poland. Most of my films are going to be about Poland. The new film about the brain will probably be about something else. I'm going to do more films that are English and about stuff that's not Poland related. But, I did work for several years really hard for no money whatsoever, just spending money all the time on making films. And when you do something, this comes back, Disty, to what you were saying. When you do something that's closely aligned to your values, here's a question, actually, which one of my former mentors asked. If you choose something that you would do even if you didn't get paid for it, or it's the thing that you do right now that you don't get paid for, that's probably what your real values are. It's hitting your real values. And one of the reasons why I promote Poland and I try and promote Polish history is I passionately believe that video is the way that you can get to millions of people. Schindler's List has obviously had a huge impact on people's consciousness and understanding of the Holocaust. And I believe that we can do the same with Polish history too. Once that's so aligned with your values, then the energy comes from itself. Right. Watching from Norway here, thinking about studying psychology in Warsaw and perhaps staying forever. Poland is rising economically a lot every year. Can you feel this as well? Hell yeah. Elvind, we would love to have you here. Poland's an amazing country. 28 years ago, it was one of the poorest countries in this whole region. And now it's the 23rd biggest economy in the world, the 8th largest economy in the European Union. It is a global manufacturing powerhouse. It has tripled its exports in the course of 10 to 15 years. it's an incredible place. The people are so dynamic. They're highly educated. They're super hardworking. It is not just an affordable country to live in, affordable education, affordable holidays, affordable hotel stays. It also is an affordable business location. It's getting better every single year in the Doing Business rankings, as reported by the World Bank. Obviously, it's not for everybody. So if you're coming to Poland and you're looking for a career, you need to think about, okay, what were you doing before and how aligned is that with the job opportunities in Poland? I'll be happy to talk about that a little bit more. But certainly in terms of, it's a fantastic country. It really, really is. I would say that. Do you have Polish citizenship? Aaron, I do not have Polish citizenship yet. In May last year, I applied to the Polish government, to the Polish president. So there's two ways you can do this. You can do this normal way, which is you live in Poland for 3 years, you have Polish language, you have employment, etc. The second way, and then this goes to the urząd. The second way is you apply to the Polish president directly. You still have to have earnings, language, all the other things, but you can actually get it from the president directly. And the reason why people do that, it's like a second track to get there. I can't lie to you, a little part of me thought it'd be cool to get it from the president, so I hope I do. That went in May last year, and I hope that by maybe let's see if this year it will come. So I know that from November last year, the application is now sitting in the president's office. First of all, it goes to the local urząd, then to the Ministry of Interior, from the Ministry of Interior to the Chancellery of the President, and now 100% it's sitting there. So if you wanted to write to the Chancellery of the President to tell them that Patrick Ney is there and to ask them to hurry up a little bit, that's cool. Who knows? Right, let's have a little look. Jacek, would you help me? I don't know what you mean, Jacek, so feel free to write a little bit more about that. Shay, if you want to know more about Polish history, you can go to my channel. I put on their songs and covers from our history. Okay, everybody, click on Shay's channel. Let's help him out. Why not? Aaron, what do you think about Brexit? Aaron, I think everything's going to be fine. I hope so, because I think the major motivation of the people on both sides is to get the right answer. I think that if you look at typically historical negotiations that the European Union has carried out with individual countries, for example, Greece, you can see that right up until the last minute, nothing was decided. It's been said from the beginning that nothing is decided until everything is decided. I don't believe that the issue of the Northern Ireland border is intractable. I think it can be solved. It will require compromise, and it's very clear that a lot of discussions are going on. Ultimately, though, Poland, for British people living in Poland and for Polish people living in Britain, you need to know that both governments super respect and super honour the contribution of those people living in these other countries. And I had the honour of meeting the Polish Prime Minister. He expressed the same thing to me. We've just seen it recently in the law, the draft law, which has been published, showing unilateral guarantees for British rights for British people living in Poland and equally for Polish people living in Britain. Both countries have agreed to recognise each other's citizens in the event of a no deal. So if we get that far, we're going to be okay. I hope hard Brexit will not happen. Absolutely. Elvind, thank you for the answer. I just got a Polish girlfriend, by the way. I actually think I want to move more than she does. The feeling of being in a country of, okay, yeah. Well, Elvind, I mean, Poland's changing. I've got to tell you that. 99% European. I don't know, you come to Warsaw, you'll see faces changing. I think it's a good thing. I think overall it's a positive thing. Things will be positive for Poland. As a business owner, you want to have the best possible talent. So we need to just think about it like that. But yeah, absolutely. It's Poland's an awesome place. Come here at least on holiday. And also, again, with your career, it depends. If you're working in psychology, you would need to speak Polish, and then probably you need to take local psychology lessons. You would need to pass whatever examination by the Association of Polish Psychologists, which might prove a little bit difficult in a foreign language. Just out of curiosity, do you learn any other languages? It seems you've got a language talent. Patrico, thank you very much. However, I'm pleased to inform you that I speak absolutely diddly squat of any other language. I actually believe that everybody innately has a talent for languages. We can all do it. There's no such thing as this person being better than this person. I was lucky because I had time. I was single, or I was, I didn't have children. I had individual lessons with an individual teacher, so I was able to go as fast as I could, not as fast as some slow person in a group. And I was able to basically focus because I had the desire and the intention. as well. So, all of the stars aligned. However, I really believe this, like every child grows up and they don't speak language, but they have the natural neurosynapses in order to be able to learn language, and they do. You can too. I absolutely guarantee you. I speak a little bit of an African language. I tried to learn Bangladeshi but failed. And I learned French at school and Latin, which actually has pretty good base for Polish grammar too. Right, let's have a little look. Nice moustache, says Pickway. Pickway, shout out. Let me know in the comments if you want to keep the moustache or get rid of it. Personally speaking, based on today's comments, I'm thinking about keeping it. Let's go and have another look. I'm going to become a medic in our army. W naszym wojsku, w naszej armii, tak się mówi. I see you guys are talking about Afghanistan. Interesting. Did not expect this conversation to go that way. Now, I want to give a big shout out to my man Shy Prince, who's here. He's a musician, he's a composer, he's a sound engineer, and if it wasn't for Marek Iwaszkiewicz, I wouldn't be here today talking to you, because my life would definitely 100% would not have gone the way it had. So if you don't know about Marek Iwaszkiewicz, just go onto YouTube and type Shy Prince. His music is awesome. Okay, it's super, super good. You have to check him out. Keep the moustache, it makes you more Polish. Yes. Somewhere in the Polish constitution, you are obliged, as a Polish man, to leave your electrical goods in the forest, to stand on the balcony in your pajamas, and at least once in your life, to grow a mighty fine moustache. All right, let's have a little look. Fun TV. I think about immigrating to the former home of my parents in Korbjörg. I'm from Germany. Do you think it would be hard for me to immigrate? I mean, what are the key factors that you need to think about immigration? So obviously, no money, no food, no home, no hope. You have to have money. So I'll give you guys like the 2-minute summary when it comes to working in Poland, or it is finding a job anywhere. When I came to Poland, I had a number of transferable skills, but not the transferable background, by which I mean, if you're an engineer, then an engineering qualification is a transferable job. There's a hungry desire for engineers. I'd worked in government in the UK, and although it gave me some skills basis, it wasn't really, nobody needed an English guy who got some government experience, but didn't speak Polish. So whenever you look at the experience you've got or where you want to be in the future, you need to think about how does this fit into Poland right now. For example, if you work in the IT sector, then I'm here to tell you that the Polish IT sector is booming. Salaries are booming. And if you're looking for a place which is both affordable to live, which is definitely Poland relative to other European countries, but also offers excellent remuneration rates and salaries, IT, great place to come to. Polish mid-size IT companies, there's an enormous number of them filled with really, really clever people. I once met a guy in the pub who was British, and he was a carpenter. And he said to me that his girlfriend was Polish and that she wanted to move back to Poland. And what did he think? Did I think that was a good idea? And I said, what's your job? And he said carpenter. And it's not a great job. It's like a chef. Chef in Poland, 3,000-ish, 4,000 zloty, kind of. Those are the, it's not a bad salary, but it's not anything that you can compare to European salaries. So what can you do? You can go onto Polish job websites like Pracuj.pl, LinkedIn. You can go to any number of different resources and try and find out what the sector looks like. Average earnings. If you don't work in IT, the Polish IT sector is advanced, so people actually post up what the salaries are, which is super, super helpful. Thinking therefore first about salary, you can work backwards. If you have a Polish partner, family member, or any other personal reason to get there, great. But you must also realize that Polish people are not super, super open, so you need to find a way to get to know them. I didn't do this, but I wish now that I'd spent more time going to clubs and meetings and things like that. But when I first came to Poland, Facebook groups, it wasn't the same kind of level of availability. Now there's loads and loads of groups on Facebook, and I would say go on Facebook and type expat in Poland, immigrant in Poland, jobs in Poland. You'll find stuff going on there that'll help you get going. Right, I've got a few questions coming in. And I super appreciate the questions, guys. I'm going to stay online for as long as you guys want, maybe up until an hour. Afterwards, my throat's going to go. Let's have a little look. What do you think about LGBT people and their situation in Poland? So, Patrico, I don't care what you do in your bedroom, as long as you don't care what I do in my bedroom. Yeah. If people are in love and they're having a happy, loving relationship, I think that's a good thing. Who they're in love with, I don't care. I believe ultimately in personal freedom, and for me, I think about this a lot. You know, I don't care who you want to kiss or whatever. It's not my business. You know, I think Poland's coming to terms with a more open. If you look at the statistics, for example, you'll see that actually more people in Poland are comfortable with having a neighbour or a friend who's a LGBT person than in many Western countries, despite the fact that there is absolutely a generalisation that Polish people are more homophobic. So that's my personal opinion. I'm super afraid of, super up for just personal freedom. Let's do it the way we want. You don't stand on my land, I won't stand on yours. Whoever you want to hold hands with is your business. Right, let's go and have a look. IT is kind of busy for newcomers. I mean, Shy Prince, we're talking about people working in companies. Okay, let's have a look. In most of IT businesses, you don't need to speak Polish. Correct, Pickway. It's a massive issue. Do you like Theresa May? Aaron, she is what she is. I mean, maybe let's not go there. Let's have a little look-see. Somebody here said, Art or Patrick, I haven't seen you for a long time. Dawno ci nie widziałem. Dziękuję, that's fine, yeah. Well, this is why I'm doing this, okay? So I still need you guys to... Hello, Jess! Shouts out to Shy Prince, shouts out to Jess. Go and check out their channels. Channels. Go and check out Jessica Williamson and go and check out Shy Prince, Marek Iwaskiewicz. Love the guy, okay? Wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him, because he's enabled me to have films that have made people cry and laugh. And because of him, I've been able to get away from working in a company and to be working full time on doing what I do, what I love, which is creating amazing films that help people to love more, laugh more, cry more, and think a little bit about the world we live in. All right, hit me up with some questions now, dude. Come on, I'm ready for you. All right, I like this. Do you think there will be a deal between the UK and the EU? I mean, there is already a unilateral deal guaranteeing the rights of citizens in both countries. Unilateral meaning between the UK and Poland. We're just waiting for the EU deal, which is a more important deal. I believe we'll get there. We're close. We're super close. Right? There's every incentive. So by definition, it's best to plan for the best environment and also plan for the worst. I hope that I will be a Polish citizen, and therefore I really won't have to worry about that. Do you have any mantra? Shy Prince Music, I recommend you click me mofos on his channel. I do, actually. Just this morning, I sent to my godson my 50 edible thoughts on life. Edible by meaning you can take them, you can eat them by reading or listening to them, and then you digest them because you need to put it through your own personal prison. Who would like to hear some of my personal rules on life? Write to me in comments if you would like to listen to my edible thoughts on life. There's 50 of them, so I'm not going to bore you with too many. Okay, I've had one person say yes. That's all I need. I wasn't gonna wait any longer. Great question from Disty about Polish patriotism. I'm going to answer that, my friend, in just a second. But first of all, I'm going to get my edible thoughts on life, and just to prove to you that I'm not bullshitting. I mean lying. Sorry. Here is some of them. Lolly also says she wants to hear it too. Okay, let me see if I can pick out a good one. Hard work now, payback later. This is rule number 6. And the reason why this is so important to me is because for the last 2 years, almost none of what I've done has made any sense. Everybody told me it was stupid. My family said it was worthless. My wife was like, why are you getting up at 3 a.m. to edit a film that nobody's going to watch it? And, you're knackered, you're tired all day. It's just pointless. Yeah. And this whole time, I knew that if I just did this day by day, month after month, year after year, eventually it would pay back. And I firmly believe, Disney, for example, was asking about, getting through the to-do list and being motivated. Just focus on doing the one small thing in front of you today. Keep doing that. Look back from time to time, and then all of a sudden you'll see how far you've come. And boy, does the last 2 years, look like it's flown by. Okay, let's have a little look. Another rule number 16, focus on the process, not the outcome. This is absolutely fine. This is absolutely crucial to the last thing I said. So it's like, don't focus on winning the race. Just focus on the one step that you have in front of you. For example, Olympic swimmers, they do this. This was taught to me by my super business mentor, Sam Cook. Olympic runners, it's not about winning the race. If you focus, I have to win, you're actually setting yourself the wrong goal. It's about just being the best stride forward that you can. Okay, let's have a little look. 33, bending with the river. Bend with the river. So life takes you in different directions. And if you have an obstacle or a challenge in your life that's stopping you from moving forward, then actually just flowing with the river and accepting it for what it is. There's one of the rules here is you learn more from your mistakes than you do from your successes. I am living proof of that fact. So it's also fine to make mistakes too, as long as you learn. You are never failing as long as you learn. And that is rule number 15. All right, I won't go on about any more rules. Let's go and have a look. Do you think being a Polish patriot is like betraying your home country? Disty, this is a really interesting question. I can't lie that from time to time people have said to me like, "Oh, you're slagging off the UK." I think Poland is the best country in the world to live in. I love Polish people. I adore them like, well, nothing I can possibly imagine whatsoever. And loving them doesn't mean I dislike anyone else. That's the difference between patriotism and nationalism. I love Poland and Polish people, but I don't think they're better, different, more special than anybody else. There's good and bad people everywhere. Poland has a lot of challenges, but boy, oh boy, does it have a lot going for it as well. Things like tradition, honor, patriotism, bravery, stubbornness, dynamism, hard work. Those are the characteristics that I would describe the Poles as. And actually, if I had a book here, I could read to you one of my favorite quotes. Let's just see. I'm just going to have a look up here, see if I've got it with me. Because this guy just, here it is. I've got to read it to you. I've got to read this to you guys. Because this guy absolutely nails what being Polish is to the tree. Oh, I'm not entirely sure where it is. Let's have a quick look. If you guys give me 1 second. Oh, it's such a good book. Okay, I'm not going to read it out now because I don't want to bore you guys by looking for something, but it's called A Country in the Moon. Jessica Williamson, I know you're getting interested in Polish malarkey. Trust me, this book is well recommended. In my opinion, it's the best book about Poland there ever was. Right, let's go and have a look. What personal thoughts do you have to Prime Minister Morawiecki after the interview, especially all the lies he is talking around, says Grizzly. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I did an interview with the Polish Prime Minister in December of last year about his life as a teenager during Solidarity, during the 1980s, when Solidarity basically sprung up in 1980, and from then on was very active as the main driving force to overcoming communism, and through overcoming communism in Poland, therefore overcame communism throughout the Soviet Union. I mean, here's the thing. For me, it wasn't a political interview, but I'm now clear, having done it, that it was treated politically. By which I mean, and it became very obvious to me, that people who hadn't watched the interview were commenting on it. I passionately believe, it's one of my theories, that you get more from people if you work with them rather than against them. So what I didn't do in that interview is apply what I guess you could call like a journalistic approach of questioning and pushing and doubting. I was inclined to take what he was saying on face value. Apart from which, the stories about him being beaten and tortured and arrested, those are all verifiable in terms of, he's recorded in the Polish security police, and there were witnesses showing injuries, etc. So for me, it was interesting because what I wanted to do was not talk to him about politics now. That's not my thing. I try and stay away from politics, but was just talk to somebody who is the leader of Poland, the Prime Minister of Poland, about that little section of his life when he was a teenager. Now imagine this: if you were being beaten, threatened with murder, and having your family's lives threatened, wouldn't that change the way you were today? Wouldn't that make you, say, suspicious, aggressive, full of hatred? Wouldn't it kind of like warp your worldview? the chance to interview somebody with so much, let's call it power, over this country about that particular period, a teenager's life, the most formative years, surely, about the things he'd gone through for the first time because it was an exclusive interview. I had to do it. And I don't regret it because I think we discovered something new. It was the first time he'd ever talked about those years. If you think Mateusz Morawiecki is a liar, or if you think he's a great politician, both of you will be able to get something from that interview. If you think he was lying, great, go ahead and question some of what he said there. You look so high. How many books are there? I'm not high. I never inhaled. I only ingest. I'm only kidding. I'm in a good mood, but it's already late afternoon, so I've been up since 4 a.m. So therefore, by now it's already like 12 hours gone. All right, let's move on. Do you plan to do some cooperation with Stefan Thompson? I would like to see something you've done together. Stefan's a bit too political for my liking, Piquet. We've never had any contact with each other. I'm sure he's a lovely person. I know he's very much appreciated by lots of people. I try and base my work on something a little bit more positive, a little bit more love-inspired. I've never met him, so I've never had the opportunity to speak to him about doing something, but I'm excited because I have a film with Helen Mazanova. We're going to film it on the 20th of February, so I'm going to do a few more collaborations. I repeat once again, I have a new channel with just Polish language episodes on YouTube. So it's Patrick Nate po polsku. You can find it in the description, and you can click here as well, or you can just search for it. Okay, let's go and have a look. Let's go and have a look. Doobie-doo. Everybody wishes Jessica Williamson to have a Polish husband. Jessica, I wish this for you too. And I think I know just the man. Yeah, I'd be very happy to come and sing at your wedding. I've done it before. Fonking him. Hello, handsome Patrick. Now you're sounding like my mum. Mum, get your real YouTube channel, get your real YouTube name on here. Okay. I just gave you a sub. Dave K. Boom, shakalaka. I love you, my man. Thank you very much. If you are a Polish speaker and you want to subscribe to my Polish language films, you click on the link. Please help me out because ultimately it's amazing to make great films, but if nobody watches them, then they're a waste of time, and I need you guys to be a part of the success. Szkoda, słabo mi mówię po polsku. Bah, you're doing your best. Jessica Williamson has gone red in the cheeks. You know, they say red is the color of love, and there's nothing more charming on a lady's finger than a nice, fantastically huge diamond ring. Now, who could I be addressing that particular comment to? I don't know, whoever your future husband is. I mean, who knows whether Marek will be your husband or not? Let's not even go there. Let's not even go there. I've said too much. But if love ain't in the air, the spring's coming. Spring is coming, my friends. And with it, who knows? Jess, I would love to meet you because Marek is a person who's made such a massive impact on my life. I believe that he is, I believe he is a great Pole. I'm going to say that. Because when I listen to his music, I hear Poland. You know, when you listen to Chopin, and I know this is dangerous territory to get into, but for me, it's like, oh, when he creates those tunes, for example, I did 63 episodes about the Warsaw Uprising last year, and he composed 6 unique pieces to those episodes. We were so lucky to get this project thanks to the Polish security printing works. And he created this song called The Will to Fight. And as I talk about it now, I feel the czarki or sobie, on my arms because it was just absolutely phenomenal. He just perfectly captured the mood of Polish people rising up with this determination, but also this kind of excitement because today, the 1st of August 1944, was the day they got their freedom back. And, you know, like the inspiration that came from that. Just unbelievable track. And I produced films that were trying to tell people, but through Marek's music, he was able to show. And I always think of my films as this piece of canvas on which Marek can paint his beautiful music. Because without the films, the music isn't the same, but also without the music, the films are nothing. I'll subscribe to Patrick's Polish channel. It'll help with my learning, I'm sure. Lolly, I recommend my Polish language film, How to Learn Polish, in 12 very uneasy steps. But, Lolly, I have some good news for you, my friend, because on my list of 11 films that I want to do, one of them is How to Learn Polish Mark II, where I update it on everything I've learned in the last couple of years. You can do it, Lolly. Focus on today's word, today's sentence, today's case. Just do that one thing at a time, incremental. incrementally, one day at a time. Don't look ahead too far. Let's go and have a look. No, it's like Qatar coming out of all of this. I'll subscribe. Right. Archie has already subscribed. I love you, my friend. You are awesome. Thank you very much. Dear girls, I'm a great teacher of the Polish language. I recommend myself. Shouts out to those for that inspired. Awesome, Dave. I love it. Patrick, what do you think about the idea of building the Centralny Port Komunikacyjny near Warsaw? I can get to Chopin in 15 minutes, yeah. Sorry, Okęcie. I can get to Okęcie in 15 minutes. Why the hell would I want to have to travel sort of 40 minutes again? I'm not up for it, man. Let's stick with what we got. We've got enough space by Chopin. Let's go and have a look. Yes, believe me, Marek has been a massive influence on my life music too. Is there any possibility to meet you and drink a beer with you? Patrick, if you see me on the streets of Warsaw or anywhere in Poland, then I do wish that you come and grab me. Unfortunately, if I went for a beer with everybody who wanted to meet me for a beer, I'd be drunk morning, noon, and night. So I can't. I've got 2 kids, work, filming. I got people who, good friends, who constantly trying to contact me to meet for a beer. I'm sorry, but if you see me, grab me, okay? Please. 11th of November, you've been on the Marszny Podgłoski. Did you experience something similar emotionally in the UK? By the way, I've watched your channel a long time and I love it. Grizzly, I love you, man, because the last 2.5 years have been awesome. I remember the first film I did, it was rubbish. And my films are just getting better and better and better. And, just I thank you, okay, because you could go and watch somebody else, but you stick with me, and I really appreciate that. So please make sure you keep coming back. I have a film about brains coming a week or 2, depends. Marek has been very kind. He's offered to help out. The music is it's not working. Something's not working on this film. I don't think it's going to be a massive film, but I'm glad I did it. Sometimes you just do something for yourself. How often do you get recognized in public? From time to time. When my films were going, really, really well, it was a little bit more often. Now it's kind of like raz na jakiś czas, so once every while. But it's awesome. I tell you, when somebody recognizes you, it's like a little adrenaline shot, because you realize, right now you guys are just appearing down a column bar, but I know you're all sitting somewhere watching this, which is awesome. It's so cool to be able to connect with people like this. What is your favorite Chopin piece? I can't say I got one, but I love the Nocturnes. Bang on the Nocturnes, happy days. Or bang on Marek Iwaszkiewicz, Shy Prince, one of the best composers, certainly the best Polish living composer. Am I getting ahead of myself? He's good. Let's go and have a look. Okay, so Marszny Podgłoski. I'm sorry, Grizzly, I didn't answer that. There's nothing like it. It's an exceptional, very Polish, extraordinary experience. I've been going to the Marszny Podgłoski since 2011, I think was my first one. I've seen it all. I don't go on the march particularly anymore. I did some sound quality is awful. Lol, man, what the heck? Dude, I've got like an awesome microphone in. All right, let me know. Marek Iwaszkiewicz is my composer and sound engineer, so let him tell you if my sound is bad or not. Let's go and have a look. How are we living in Usonów? Usonów is pretty boring. I'm not going to lie, it's boring. But we've got a much nicer flat. So I lived in Powiśle in Warszawa, which is right in the center, and now I'm living in Usonów, which is a suburb. We've got a garage, so that's cool. The winter it was snowing, but no snow on my car. All right, have I received Polish citizenship? Not yet. The application is wtoku. Let's see how it goes. You are a great ambassador for Polish culture and history. Sławomir, thank you very much. That is my cel na życie. Let's go and have a look. I moved to the UK 10 years ago from Poland and have developed an emotional bond with England, but I just want to thank you for constantly reigniting patriotic passion for my homeland. Boom shakalaka! Because I feel it, man, like I really do. If I was faking it, I would have given up a long, long time ago. When I go to the UK, when I come back, I just like, home, and when I hear those voices and that spiky language, etc., it's like, I love it. I love this country. It's awesome. Not to say it hasn't got problems. Of course it has. But we've all got problems, Judge us by what we do today. And Poland's going in the right direction. What's your favorite Polish movie? I like Potop because when I first came to Poland on TVP Polonia, I think they had English subtitles, and I just the romance of that whole time, and also there's that sexy, famous Polish actress who gets naked in the lake, and I felt like I connected with Polish culture quite well through that. Patrick, watch Pianista if you don't know this one. Yes, I do. Absolutely. I have seen it many times. I would like to see you in a program 7 meters underground. Do you know this channel? 7 metrów pod ziemią. Aaron's Music. Proszę pana, gdyby pan chciałby napisać tego pana 7 metrów nad ziemią, I would love to appear. I think it's a really good show. I think the guy's clever. He's doing it well. He's just good. I think I've got something interesting to say. So if you wanted to write to him and maybe suggest that I come on the show, in my experience, it's better if a member of the public does it than if a creator does it. As I told you guys, if you haven't followed me on Facebook, what I want you to do right now is get this little thing out, go onto Facebook, and I'm recording this. Oops. Go onto Facebook and just follow me on there. If you only speak Polish, click on the link to go to my new Polish language channel, or even if you don't speak Polish and you just want to help me out, because without you guys, it's really nothing. I have already sent an email to Raphael. I hope he will contact you. Dude, how nice is that? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Aaron's Music. Tell us about yourself, man. Do you make music? What's the story there? Sex Missia. I have seen Sex Missia. I liked Kanał as well by Agnieszka Holland. I thought that was a really good film. So I love the second one. War, I'm very interested in it. Oh, and I like Miasto 34, Miasto 44. Definitely like that. Jak tam pana Polski? Jeśli chodzi o mój poziom języka polskiego, no, myślę, że spoko. Let's go and have a look. What else? Sandra says naprawdę, but I'm not entirely sure what she's referring to. What is the hardest word in Polish that you have trouble with? Just saw someone was live. Well, hello, Sarah. Sarah, you are live. Have you never seen me on YouTube before? This, guys, we've got an opportunity to show Sarah Padisław's channel. Okay, we've got a chance to tell her why she needs to subscribe to this channel. Are we going to do that, my friends? Are we going to write in the comments and tell her why? Sandra, stay on the line. She's never seen one of my films before. She was just cruising YouTube for a live transmission. Now, what I have to do is earn, in a very short space of time, Sandra's sub. Okay, so guys, I need you to write in the comments, give Sandra a reason why she needs to stay on this channel. Maybe if you get a second, we can even, yeah, Grizzly says because it's awesome. Hell yeah, of course it's awesome. Better than that, baby. Sandra, I make films about life. I've got a film about brains coming up. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a creator living in Poland. I'm originally from the UK. And I do a lot of films about Polish history, about Polish culture, because I live in Poland. It's an amazing country. If you know nothing about this place, Sandra, I'm hoping you're going to stick around and be a little part of what we're doing here, which is just a general Q&A, because I created another channel. That stuff's boring. But if you check out my channel, I promise you, baby, there's going to be a whole bunch of things that you didn't know about, which are going to inspire you, make you cry, challenge the way that you see the world, and hopefully leave you a better person. Now I get to sit here and read these sweet comments. Let's see, Sandra, if you, Sarah, sorry, if you can let us know whether you're going to stick around. You don't have to stay on this live because probably it's going to be a little boring from now on, but if you could just stay on this live and let us know if you're going to subscribe to my channel, then I will give you the official Padisław Award, Patreon Award. Let's see if she's going to stay, my friends. Let's see if she's going to stay. Doobie-doo. Okay, we're getting some very nice messages from Sławomir. Delikwaskator. Strange name. Sarah. Oh, that's interesting. I am a new subscriber. Boom, shakalaka. Awesome. And we've got some super cool. Okay, Sarah, I'm going to set you a challenge now. I want you to search in a separate window for Shy Prince. Okay, just those two words. He's a composer from Poland. He's a young guy. And he's so super awesome. Let's work on making Sarah fall in love with Poland. Sarah, what do you think about Poland? Let's start there. You got to write in the comments, my friend. I'm not going to let you get away from this live without letting us know. Tell us what you think. The Liquid Skater. Okay. Oh, I see. Deliquesta. Okay, Shy Prince. It's all about Shy Prince today, my friends. So listen, we're coming up on 50 minutes. I've told you about my new Polish language channel. I've answered some questions and answers about life in Poland, my life, the way I view the world. Today, we've had a lot of questions about task management, which I wasn't expecting to have. We've had a lot of awesome questions from Mr. Shy Prince. Jessica, when did you discover Marek? I found him on SoundCloud in 2014. Stranger was the first track I heard. Love at first sight, baby, or was it love at first sound? Marek and I have been working together intensively for the last 2 years, and the first project we worked on was my film about Miłość Polską Społeczeństwo, so love in Polish society, and it got 5.6 million views on Facebook. It was a huge runaway hit, and he lent me his music called Project Kazimierz. Super good tune, and it was just perfect. And like I say, I felt like I'd finally met the painter who was going to paint on the canvases of my films. I think that's the best metaphor I can describe, because he just perfectly gets what I'm trying to achieve with things that I say and the images I present. But the music is what makes it magical. Steven Spielberg said that films are 50% film, 50% music. And he's so right. So if you're a creator and you want to work with a sound engineer and a composer who's going to blow you away, then I highly recommend Marek Iwaszkiewicz. So we've had a response from Sarah. I live far away in India, so I don't know much about Poland. Is it a beautiful place? Question mark. Boom shakalaka, Sarah. It's an absolutely fantastic place. And the Liquid Skater has already replied, saying rich history, beautiful nature, mountain ranges, sandy coast, interesting cuisine, and a strong culture. Absolutely. And Sarah, we want to shout out to you for being brave enough to come on this live. You've entered my life. How amazing is this? Sorry, guys, I was 2 minutes just to say how amazing the internet is, because here we have Sarah. She's sitting in India. She's subscribed to my channel. Let's hope that she falls in love with Poland and she becomes India's biggest Poland fan. Sarah, we love you. You've been absolutely fantastic for joining us. Okay, has anyone got any last questions? We're coming up on 55 minutes and I'm losing my voice because I've been talking for too long. I'll go and get some water. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Shumboom. Has anyone got any other questions? I got criticised for drinking water out of a bottle, by the way, earlier, and probably right. Yeah, I feel a bit guilty about that. Okay. Has anyone got any final questions? I'll answer one or two more. Thanks a lot. UK subscribers are so good. Voda. See, I'm trying to learn Polish. Yes. Man, I almost envy you because you're at that, but just it seems so long ago now. And I remember all those little cute little things. Gazowana, gassy. It's funny. When will America be broke? John, I mean, in terms of actual debt to GDP ratio, I think, Patrick, what actually brought you to Poland? Camille, I met I'll tell you very briefly my story of Poland. My story with Poland starts in Africa. So I was in Sierra Leone just after the civil war there, a couple of years afterwards, as a very young 23 or 24-year-old. And I ate a falafel kebab. And the falafel kebab was not very well cooked, let's put it like that. And I was very sick for several days. I didn't eat anything. When I came back to the UK, rather than go to the Tropical Diseases Hospital, I went to the pub and I had 5 or 6 pints of Guinness with my mate Barney. Then I got hungry for the first time in several days, so me and Barney went to the restaurant. And in the restaurant was this beautiful Polish girl circling around the tables with stripy pink colourful socks and just everything a beautiful Polish woman is. And because of her, I'm here today. And on such tiny little moments can the whole of our life flick, turn, and turn out completely differently. I have no idea where I'd be if I hadn't have eaten that falafel kebab in Sierra Leone, if I hadn't have walked into that restaurant on that night, but I wouldn't be here. That's 100%. Okay. Sarah, so how did you start the channel? Sarah, I create films, basically, sometimes about things in general, but also mostly about Poland, because I live in Poland and I think Poland's interesting. It's got very interesting. The Liquid Skater has already explained why Poland's so awesome. Super cool. Check out the Wikipedia. Go onto YouTube, search Poland. Look at the amazing nature. Look at the amazing people. Think about a country which 30 years ago, having emerged from the yoke of communist oppression, command and control economy, has turned itself from a bankrupt nation making things that nobody wanted, producing people with skills that weren't necessary, to the 23rd largest economy in the world, the 8th largest economy. in Europe and a manufacturing powerhouse. It's absolutely fantastic. Let's have a little look. Hello, Patrick. I'm a linguist and language teacher. I'll be in Poland in May to deliver a presentation about learning languages as an adult. I just saw your video with Carolina and I decided I must ... I like the way you build the suspense there, my friend. I think that I'm interested to see what you're going to say next. Right, let's have a little look. Do you know any Russians? What do you think about them? Well, I like Russian people, but I don't like the Russian state. I think the Russian state, frankly speaking, deserves to be brought down. And I think they're doing a lot of bad stuff in the world. And Poland should rightly be concerned about energy security, territorial security, informational security, and we should do everything we can to help prepare ourselves for challenges that come from that particular state. Zenica Legend. Use it as part of my presentation as a shining example of learning a language in adulthood with no previous exposure or training in linguistics. Zenica, thank you very much. I've already outlined earlier in this transmission about learning languages. I've done a video, by the way, which looks super rubbish and is badly produced, but essentially which summarizes my 12 top tips for language learning. I think the number one that I expressed earlier was around having a sense of perspective. So number one, most people when they're learning a language constantly look at the mountaintop and say, that's too far away, not realizing that every journey up the mountaintop starts with just one step. But equally, most people fail to look back. As a result, they have no sense of perspective. So if you record, for example, by doing films like I am now, is one of the reasons why I have this channel. If you record, you're able to say, hey, 6 months ago, man, I was rubbish. And now look at me. There's a whole host of other techniques and tricks. Number one, the osmosis of language. So when I see my daughter, 3-month-old daughter, and what she's doing is just listening and watching so intently, she's just soaking it all in. For the first 3 or 4 years of learning Polish, I didn't learn Polish. All I did was listen. And slowly but surely, the pre-formulated sentences and word orders that we use in everyday standard language, non-technical language, they just started to pop out of me. So every 20th word, I started to decipher every 10th, 5th. The sense of things that were well beyond my actual language comprehension, because I think it was much closer to the way that children naturally learn, which is the most human way. If you agree with me, let me know. I'd be interested to see what you have to say. I wasn't expecting to have a conversation with somebody who really knows what they're talking about, but check out that film and let me know in the comments. Best Polish dish? Bigos! Pierogi. Try my bigos. Let's have a look. Do you think the British culture is sort of falling apart? No. Camille, I'm an optimistic guy. I think it's fine, but I'm happy I'm living here. I'd rather live in Poland than in the UK. Zenica, thank you for your answer. I agree 100%. Boom shakalaka. Isn't it nice when we agree? Sławomir Krajewski, the English betrayed Poland in 1939. Why? Well, this is actually a really good question. I'm going to answer this despite the fact that we're coming up to the hour and it's a history question, but bear with me if you're going to stick with me. So here you have this situation on the 1st of September when Germany illegally invades Poland. And then you have the situation where 17 days later, Russia invades Poland, something which most people forget about. So you have this country which has been carved in half in a secret plan. If you assess Britain's military options at that stage, they were very limited. So it was a guarantee of peace, but on paper. Now, there is, of course, a very strong argument for saying that if the French had moved forward from the Maginot Line, if they'd been able to attack Germany from the west, they would have actually been walking literally into unguarded territory. But the French military policy at that time, based on what they'd gone through in the First World War, was absolute static defense. So, given the circumstances at the time, it went down how it went down. Now, at the time of the outbreak of the Second World War, Polish people went to the English and French embassies and waved flags in the air and said, hurrah for the Brits, hurrah for the French, they're going to come and save us. And they didn't. That's just a fact. But could they? Probably not. So, what was the range of a British medium or long distance bomber in 1939? They were rubbish. They were so bad. They didn't really develop properly good medium and long distance bombers, 1942, 1943. I'm not an aviation expert. And even then, they still wouldn't have been able to help out Poland because of Russia. Now, if you look there later on into Polish military history during the Second World War, you have the situation where at Yalta and at other conferences, and in the conversation between the big three, between Stalin, Roosevelt, and Churchill, and you have Stalin playing Roosevelt for a fiddle, and you have Churchill, who I think understands Stalin's psychology much better, but is definitely the weaker of the three. Agreeing, carving out on napkins the future of Poland should have never happened. But unfortunately, the world was exhausted after fighting Nazism, and it didn't have enough in the tank to fight Stalinism. And unfortunately, Poland just fell in between the gap. Now, there were lots of shameful things that the British, unfortunately, did to Poland. It doesn't make me happy, but I can understand how Churchill was in the geopolitical situation that he was, some of the decisions that he made. It is a fact that it was Churchill who was pressuring Roosevelt to intervene more in the Warsaw Uprising. It is a fact that Stalin was sending both Churchill and Roosevelt complete lies about the actual military situation on the ground, which he, after all, had complete control over. It is a fact that both Stalin and Churchill wanted to send a lot more munitions and supplies by airdrops during the Warsaw Uprising. And it is also a complete fact that Stalin blocked all of those flights from landing in Soviet territory on a frantic mission, which would have completely changed the intensity, the frequency of those flights. So when you're talking about betrayal, I think all fingers and all roads and all eyes should be pointed back to Joseph Stalin, a man who hated Poland with a passion that could only perhaps be equaled by its severity and intensity by Adolf Hitler, a man who condemned tens of millions to death, not least of which millions or hundreds of thousands of Poles. Yes, it's important that Britain let Poland down in many respects during the Second World War, but actually, compared to what the Russians did, or the Soviet Russia and Stalin did to Poland, it's a fly on the wall. It's a drop in the soup. I want to do, for example, a film about cool communism and Red Star clothing on this very subject. Sorry, guys, I kind of went off on one. There. I apologize. History is my Sarah. If you're still with us, I apologize. History is my big thing, and I'm super into it. I'm loving the conversation here, by the way, from people. So let me tell you something. YouTube and Facebook are quite different. YouTube and Facebook are completely different beasts. And what I'm noticing here is that the conversation between people on YouTube has been much more interesting than the one on Facebook. So I'm sending you guys a big love heart right now for being a part of this little journey the last hour that we spent together. I really appreciate it. And I super appreciate people like Jessica Williamson, my Jess, all right, not my Jess, but the Jess from Shy Prince, who have subscribed to my new channel, Patrick Nate Popolsku. And I super appreciate Marek Iwaszkiewicz, who's posted my channel. It's Patrick Nate Popolsku. So it's a channel for all my films only in Polish. English channel is going to stay where it is now, and I've got lots of cool ideas. I've got 11 films, and I've got this whole other concept. So much content to create. Oh, it's exciting. Okay, so I can't even remember who asked that about British betrayal in 1939. Slavomir. Okay, I'm kind of interested in your response to what I had to say. I understand. Thank you for your answer. Okay, so I think this is. I definitely want to revisit this. I definitely have got a film in me about this particular subject. It's a tricky, controversial, touchy subject, and as somebody who loves Poland, more than I can possibly imagine, it's difficult for me to swallow because I'm equally proud of being British. Okay, one last question is: do you eat English breakfast? And the answer is: if I've got a hangover, you bet your damn ass I do. Shy Prince, I asked this before, but I got lost. What is your advice for younger self? For myself, my advice I would give myself. Man, Shy Prince asks the best questions. I'm trying to think. Shy Prince, I'm going to come back to you because I see people commenting now and you deserve a better answer. Ragnes, I think I'm a new viewer to the channel because I don't recognize you, but it's good to be here. So Ragnes must be like Sarah, who's just come on this channel because it's on live. Ragnes, man, you need to check out my channel because awesome, dude. You've got to check it out, okay? I make inspiring, funny, emotional films about Polish history, about Polish culture, and about things like the brain. For example, I'm just about to finish a film about the brain. Got a film about traffic. Shas is also new. I don't believe this. So many new people. So can you just do me a favor and subscribe to my channel? I'm not going to lie. That's what it's all about. But I'll tell you why. Inspired by love for my fellow man, I try and make films that change global consciousness a little bit. I'm not like a life coach. I just like to do films about Poland because that's my thing. But for example, I had a brain surgery on my head once, and I'm interested in the brain, so I decided to to do a film about the brain. Do you guys want to see the film about the brain? Sarah's here for the first time. She's cool. She's from India. Ragnes, can you let us know where you're watching from, my friend? And in the meantime, I'll just show you guys the film I'm doing about the brain. It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's a little bit weird. Let's have a little look-see. There we go. I'm just going to show you a little bit. My internet friend, I've been expecting you. Ow. It weighs about 3 pounds. So you guys are the first ever to watch this, by the way. It's still in draft. I need Marek Shy Prince's love to. It's gone too dark. Not the bottom, the brain. All right. So I'm working on that right now, and I would be totally honored and super grateful if you could give me a little sub as a result of that. Ragnis, are we okay with that? Sarah's already subscribed, and she doesn't regret it, so let's see what you think of too. Okie dokie, my friend. I probably watched a really good video, and I subbed some time ago, but I still don't remember. Ragnis, I love it. I'm going to say I'm from Perth, Australia, because I wish I was from there. Yeah, I'm going to say I'm from Brisbane, but looking at the weather outside, I don't think I can lie about that. All right, my friends, it's been over an hour. I love you guys. My voice has gone super grey and dry. Ragnes, Sarah, you are my special guests. I'd like to say shout out to Shy Prince for asking the most questions, and to Jessica. I keep on mentioning the two of them together. I'm just not sure why. Thank you very much for joining me. Make sure you check out my new Popolsku channel, where my films are only in Polish, and this channel is going to stay in English. I've got some super cool films coming, namely the one about the brain. Are you going to be a part of it? I hope you will be. I love you guys. That was awesome. Bye-bye. Bye. 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 Still going.